Thank you for joining. This is live with Miami's Community News, and I'm Michael Miller. Special guest today is Chris Page with Page by Page Book Drive. That's the name of your not-for-profit charity organization. Tell us about that.
So, Page by Page is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And that means that this organization is not required by the government to pay taxes, but instead we redistribute the money that we would be paying for that back into our organization. It is an organization that picks up lightly, gently used books from people all around the world that want to donate, or mainly all around the city or local places, and we collect them and we redistribute them to places that are in need of books, homeless shelters, other schools, people with not as many opportunities as we may have.
Right.
It is.
I'm sorry. Hold on. So people can put it in context. I met your sister a year or two ago. We interviewed with her, and this is what I heard her say with your mom sitting there. She was in second grade, said, Mom and Dad, hey, listen, there's a bunch of kids out there, some of them can't read. And I suppose the parents said, well, what do you want to do about it? And so during that time from second to 10th grade, you distributed well over 300,000 books. So you decided at some point, I'm going to also be involved in that. So you started this not-for-profit, this charity organization to collect books and to redistribute them. The big question that folks want to know is, how do you get people from around the city, around the state, and around the country to give you books, and how do you get them to where you want them to go?
So usually we have book drives at schools, and what we do is we place boxes into a variety of schools, such as Palmer Elementary School or Pinecrest Elementary School, and even where I actually went to elementary, Sunset Elementary School. And what we do is we promote. I usually go onto the morning announcements of the new, school news channel that they have there, and I make a little speech on how we should promote Page by Page. And what they do is the kids, they bring in their books that they aren't using anymore, they don't want to read, and they bring it and they put it in the boxes. After a certain amount of time has passed, we collect the books from the boxes and we eventually pack them up into nice new fresh boxes and we redistribute them to.
So let's talk. Where do you keep the books until you send them out?
Just for now, our garage.
I was wondering about that. Does your dad have a pickup truck?
No, unfortunately we don't, and we do have to work with the limited spaces of our trunk in our car.
All right, so you collect these books, you promote that. So how do you pay for the books when you get them here in Miami-Dade County? How do you get people to redistribute, or companies around the state or around the country? How does that work?
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
How do you get the book from your garage to the end user?
So many of the places that we are donating to, for example, Chapman Partnership is somebody that we've had in the past. They actually came with their own company pickup truck.
Oh, we like that.
To pick up the books.
And take these books too.
Exactly. Straight from our garage. And, I've been able to meet a ton of people by doing this. And the Chapman Partnership man was one of them. And very nice guy. He came, he helped me pick up the books using a little dolly, and we loaded them all into the back of the truck, and we sent them off for redistribution.
Right. So the name Page by Page, when was that name developed?
It did take a while to come up with a name. My sister and I talked about it for a while, and then we realized my last name is Chris Page, or my last name is Page. Page and Page. Wait a second. This is a book drive organization.
It's really wonderful. So let's talk about, is there something that's going to happen in Tallahassee for you guys? You doing some work out in Tallahassee to try to get some recognition or some money? Not yet.
Most likely are. I can't recall anything about that at the moment, but
one of the things that can help you is to get some either local officials, either the cities of the county or the state, to recognize what you do. That'll raise the awareness, and maybe somebody come along and say, listen, I'm going to pay for somebody to come pick up that stuff and redistribute it. So hopefully you can do that. So there's a Florida Literacy Association. What can you tell us about that?
So the Florida Literary Association.
I know it's a tough word.
Yeah, it's a word I'm very familiar with, as you can probably tell. I actually I made a speech at the FLA a few weeks ago. It was up in Orlando, and I had to create a 30-minute presentation, and I Uh,
On stage.
no, not on a stage, just
Where,
in a small classroom,
okay.
but to an audience nevertheless.
Yes.
And we saw a few people there, and they came and they watched me actually present. I had to do a I don't know, 50 slide presentation. It was pretty long, but that was for the FLA. And
Where did you learn to do that?
my business presenting, you mean?
Yes.
So in the school that I go to, we have a business program, and that business program has taught me to be put on the spot so many times. I've learned so many real world examples of what I can do from school from that business class. We learned how to say tie a tie or just present. We've had to do assignments where we just cannot look at the board while we present, and I've learned to, I'd say, become a better public speaker by doing that. And
And a better person.
I would say so, yes.
Yes. So what was it like for you when you had to present for your first time? Tell us about what your body was going through.
It was scary, but you just got to go up there and full send it and push forward, and it's really not as bad as it can be when you're up there presenting, hammering through what you practice for. And
Okay, so give us a vision of where you see page by page in a year or two from now.
so we're definitely expanding, doing many different things for the future. We're going to, and this is in the process, we are developing and testing an app for a bookshare for communities, and we're still trying to work out a few bugs. It's in the progress, but that's one of our plans that we have for the future. And we're trying to make page by page a Florida after school program, which is also pretty important.
And who do you work with on that? We're trying to make it an after school program.
My mom has actually been a very big part of that. Uh, some Florida state officials for sure, and my mom could probably tell you a little bit more about that.
It's fine. So tell us what the vision is for page by page. What do you want to do, and how do you want people to perceive what you and your team and what you're doing?
We definitely want to, improve our book redistributing skills, maybe make the operation a little more larger scale. We are trying our best to just improve on the things that we do.
So how do you, again, I know I asked, but I'm not quite sure what the answer was. If you have a garage filled with books, 100 books, right. 200 books.
A lot more than that.
Okay.
Maybe boxes of books.
Okay, there you go. Boxes of books. And let's say it's not anybody in Miami where they can't come, that they don't want to come down and get it. How do you get those books to them?
As I had stated previously, remember when I talked about the Chapman Partnership?
Yes.
Pickup trucks, or just a combination of our cars at the house, and a lot of hauling books and fitting the books into tight, spaces.
Okay, so if somebody calls you from California and say, look, I got 600 books, I got 40 boxes of books, what do you do?
So that's actually been one of our main roadblocks as a page by page, company. Places that are far, really far, are really hard to get books to. Shipping costs, all of that are very, very expensive. And what we've done to counteract that kind of is, one time we had a place in Madagascar, I believe, that it was a small school and they wanted some books to be able to read. What we did is we set up a virtual library to help these kids, and we got a very nice video sent back, and it seemed like the kids were very, very happy and ecstatic to be reading these books and have so many materials just at their hands and able to read whenever.
So other than those children that you saw in the video, have you been able to see or talk to some of the people that have received your books?
Yes, we have had plenty of interaction with the people that we have, donated to, and I can keep using Chapman Partnership actually as an example, due to us donating to them plenty of times.
By the way, they were just here.
Oh, that's amazing.
One of the other studios doing a show.
Right. So we've been able to go back and see the look of appreciation, and honestly, it's very rewarding going back to that organization and seeing the full library that we created with the help of the community, and it's just so rewarding. And the kids coming up to us and saying thank you for.
So what's that like when a young child says to you, "Thank you so much"? What's that do for you?
It's so heartwarming, and it just brings a sense of joy, honestly, to me because
So where did you learn the number one to give like that, and to also allow yourself to receive that?
so honestly, I'd have to credit my mom. She's I'd say done a great job raising me, and just I've learned all of my feelings of just giving and receiving from her, and it's just been an amazing ride, honestly.
So tell us about your team that helps you put all this together.
Right. So the team that helps us put together is mostly just my family, and some of the volunteers that we bring in for community service hours, and we just do all the normal things that I've talked about today, such as packing the books, such and such, getting them delivered to the other places, things like that.
So here we are again. This is 2025. You're you're in 10th grade,
Yes,
almost done.
almost. I'm getting there.
Okay, and you go to Riviera
Yes,
down the street from here, 3 blocks, all right?
correct.
So you have 11th and 12th grade.
Just that to go.
When do you start applying for colleges, and where do you want to go, and what do you want to do?
11th grade, and right now I definitely want to go up north, get out of the Florida heat, right? It'd be a great change, and I've been thinking probably BC as a college. It's
Really?
pretty up north, and
Sort of cool.
yeah, and a lot of people have recommended it to me. So
All right, good. And what is it you want to study?
I definitely want to go into the business route
Right.
when I'm in college.
And when are you going to get your master's degree in?
We'll see. I graduate in 2027, so I don't know when I get my master's degree, but
Somewhere in the next 8 years.
Correct.
You'll have that degree.
Right.
And so when you get done with schooling, wherever that is, all right, what do you want to do?
I haven't really thought about that yet. But as I had said, business route for sure when I'm older. And I mean, it's so hard to make such a big decision
Yeah.
at such an early age.
One step at a time.
Exactly.
So how can you grow this charity, and so you can help more people?
So we've been working on expanding. All the plans that I had told you about how we're going to, make virtual libraries and the app that we're developing. That's, I would say, some ways of expansion that we're trying to,
Okay, we are having a meeting here in a couple of weeks with 3 different chambers of commerces, all right?
Oh, wow.
And we would love to invite you so I can introduce you to these people.
That would be great.
And you have something you can leave them with. Do you have like a postcard, a business card? Your mom's going to.
We do have business cards.
You have business cards.
Yeah.
The old one that your mom and I use, or some other type, like this card.
Just a little card like this. We also have flyers as well.
Okay.
They may be a tad bit outdated, but we definitely do have business
We'll
cards.
get something current. So if you had 1.5 minutes, we have 30 people looking at you. You've never met them before. These are people in the business arena, right, throughout Miami-Dade County, mostly in the South End. And I introduce you, and I give you a 15-second introduction. What are you going to say?
Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Chris Page, and I'm the current president of Page by Page. This is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that collects and redistributes books to people around the world, people not as many opportunities, and we are doing our best to distribute happiness and literacy throughout the world.
Okay. So you get done with that. What question are you going to ask him?
I don't know. It honestly depends on the conversation I have with them.
Right there. I know I'm putting you on the spot, because we always get put on the spot. And if there's any lawyers in town, they actually know that happens frequently. And you're going to do your presentation, and then you're going to ask them to do something. What is it you're going to ask them to do?
Oh, sorry, could you say that again?
Okay. What the purpose of the organizations do what?
Collect and redistribute books.
So you have to collect books.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're going to ask them is, hey, Mr. Jones, if you have any books that your kids left behind, give me a call. We're going to take those books, instead of them sitting on your shelf, which you're not going to do anything with, we're going to get them and we're going to redistribute.
We're going to redistribute.
Right. And do you have a website?
Pagebypage.us.
Oh my goodness. Easy.
Pagebypagebookdrive.us.
Right. So easy enough to remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure on the stuff you're going to hand out, it has that on there.
It does.
All right. And it's really important when you do this. These are people that, if you don't know them, if you stay in town, you will. And for sure, your folks probably know some of those companies. So I invite you to do that. You'll be our first. How old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
You'll be the first 16-year-old to do that. So
wow.
Good for you. All right. So I hope you say yes. And if somebody wants to be more involved with you, whether it's an adult or a student, what should they do?
Honestly, just take a look at our business card and go to our website and send us an email, call us, send us a message.
So they can, the high school students can get community hours.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, and they can help you. And typically the thing that they would do would be what?
Boxing books
Right.
and things of that nature.
Right.
Just helping around.
So what do you do when you look in that garage? There's just boxes of books, and you go, "Oh my goodness!" I know you don't have that right now, right? Sure, all right. And you look at all these books. You go, what are we going to do with all these books? So what goes through your mind?
So it definitely is, overwhelming. But as we continuously chip through the mountain of books that we have in our garage, we, collect and redistribute. And as we go little by little, it definitely becomes a much more attainable goal, as we work through just all that we have.
Right. So if you were going to give some suggestions or advice to some young person, let's say in 7th grade or 8th grade, and they say, gee, I like what you're doing, all right, what could I do, not with you, but in the bigger picture about being involved in giving?
Stay on the grind. I would definitely say, keep trying your best, and with any amount of hard work, you can attain anything.
Right.
And that's kind of been, my motto.
All right. We have 5 minutes left. In that 5 minutes, what I like you to think about is the people that helped you along your way. Sometimes they call them mentors or friends or teachers, but name some people, if you would, about how they helped you.
So definitely my mom. Shout out my mom. Very, very, influential in just having Page by Page as a book drive in itself. It wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for her. Behind the scenes, she's been doing so much.
Her?
I thank you. Yes.
Oh, you thank her.
Thank her
all the time.
Yes. Very grateful for that. And of course, my dad, sorry, also a very driving factor. And of course, my sister, one of the first founders and somebody who you actually interviewed a few years ago.
I told your mom earlier that I probably told the story 20 times, maybe more, about how impressed we were with this young lady who came here, right, at that point in 10th grade, similar age, and how she described what she did. Right, very, very, very impressive. So tell us a little bit about where your sister is.
So my sister is currently a freshman in Emory in an impressive school. It's up in Georgia, and even until the end of senior year, she was a driving factor in Page by Page.
So have you met other people that have created their own not-for-profits throughout Miami or in your school?
I have. I'm not sure a lot of the people that I've met are on the same scale as mine. But I do encourage all the people who I've met with a nonprofit to, keep getting there. Keep spreading good.
Right. One of the things that we found, when we can find people that are in the similar arena, it doesn't have to be exactly similar. There's a certain camaraderie. There's a certain knowledge, internal knowledge, that you go to the table.
Yes, of course.
And whatever level that you're at, right? So I commend you for that. Right? Do you have any younger siblings?
No, I'm the youngest.
But even at your young age, there are people that are looking at you for guidance, whether they're 5 years old or 50, and most of them, I'm sure, are admiring what you do. And so we are very proud of the job that you're doing. Glad you could pick up on what your sister did. Congratulations to your folks, all right, on creating a great young gentleman, and congratulations to your sister on succeeding with that. And I've heard a lot about her, by the way. I know she was on some shows, and I'm not sure which one it was, and some of the not-for-profits. Because I saw, I don't know if it was a resume, but I think it was something like that.
Something.
And it was our honor to be able to speak and to work with her. All right.
Thank you.
So we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
Christopher, thank you very much for being here.
Nice
and we're going to look right into that camera right there, and we're going to say thanks for joining us and appreciate your time. Remember, take care of yourself and your family.